everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I've noticed recently there has been a massive increase in popularity for use of the cleaning product Zoflora. It's something that I've used ever since I was a homeowner back in 2012. I bought my first flat, and Zoflora was one of the first things I bought in my cleaning products first kind of haul. We didn't call it a haul back then, but you know what I mean, my first cleaning product shop. Since then I have figured out over time all the different uses you can have for it, and today that is what I'm bringing you, a video with 18 of my favourite uses for Zoflora. If you're new around here, then I would love you to hit subscribe. I do lots of cleaning and organisation videos over here on my channel, and at the moment I'm staying with parents because we're waiting for our new house to be ready in 3 weeks time. So if you'd like to see all that kind of stuff like home interior updates and just general day in the life vlogs, then please do hit subscribe. And without further ado, I am going to get stuck in and show you my cleaning hacks and tips. Okay, so tip number one is one of my favourite ones to do, and that is to get a tumble dryer sheet and soak it in some Zoflora. I then take this and let it dry, and you can pop it in things like cushion covers, you can even put it underneath your mattress, and what happens is because it's concentrated, the scent of whatever Zoflora you tend to pick will really come through in the fabric, and it just smells incredible. It's an easy little hack to do, and it's one that I really love. Tip number two is to get your Zoflora product and literally just put a little capful in your sink overnight. The reason for this is because first of all it's a disinfectant, so it will disinfect all your sink area, and it will also leave a gorgeous scent, so when you wake up in the morning and you drain it, your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever you might have put it in a utility room or whatever sink it was will smell incredible. And the third tip is very similar to tip number two, which is to use your Zoflora in your toilet, and the best time to use this is also overnight. So literally before you go to bed, pop a capful down your toilet. It will then start to kind of diffuse through your toilet system and make your whole bathroom smell amazing. It will disinfect the toilet water as well, which is important, and just generally smell really good. Tip number four is something that I picked up from my lovely friend Emily. We did a collab last Christmas, and this was one of her Christmas hacks, and that was to get a Christmas scented Zoflora and put it on your radiators. Now it doesn't have to be a Christmas scent, it can just be your favourite scented Zoflora. Pop it on a little cotton pad or some kitchen roll, anything that will absorb it, and then just rub it all over your radiators in the house. Then when your radiator comes on at night time, the heat from the radiator will warm up the product and you'll get a big waft of scent all through your home without even having to try. Tip number five is something that you guys went crazy for over on Instagram and actually made me want to make this video in the first place, and that is to clean your washing machine with it. Now if you've got a washing machine you've had for a couple of years, it's getting a bit kind of stinky when you open it, it smells a bit damp, usually that's because of a build-up of bacteria inside that you can't reach. So what I tend to do is get half a bottle of the regular size Zoflora in any fragrance, just whatever your favourite one is. Get half of it and throw it in the drum on an empty wash. Don't put any clothing in, just half of the bottle into the drum. Put it on a 90-degree wash. It doesn't need to be for a long time. I would say maybe an hour is enough to do it. And what happens is the heat of the water and the Zoflora will really combat any of those kind of dirty smells, any bacteria that's in the machine, and not only will it smell better, but you'll find your clothes will wash much better too. And my sixth tip is very similar again. It's for using your Zoflora in your laundry cycle. I put a capful of Zoflora into my fabric softener when I put it into the machine, and that way my whole wash smells incredible. I've noticed a massive difference in towels and bedding and general clothing if you use this, but I would be mindful, don't put it in like a baby's cycle, don't put it in anything that's going to be irritable if you have irritated skin. I would maybe use it in things like bedding, towels, or things that are just not smelling as great as they used to. And another great tip I have is for gym clothes and shirts. Now we're all human here, and this is probably a little bit embarrassing, but sometimes I get clothing that I'm like, that smells a bit funky. I did not smell like that when I was wearing it. Why does it smell awful? Usually things like gym clothes or like long sleeve shirts. And the best thing for it is to literally just take some Zoflora onto a cloth, dab it onto like the pits of a shirt, or even like, I don't know, just your gym clothes, and the product will kill the bacteria that's causing the really horrendous odour scent, and will leave it with a lovely fragrance instead. There is nothing worse than opening a dishwasher and it smells disgusting after a load has been through. So once you remove all your items, the best thing to do is take a little capful of Zoflora, throw it in the bottom, close it over and let the steam generate a nice scent, and it will also disinfect anything at the bottom. You can just imagine how dirty a dishwasher gets, so even the most cleanest of us might need to do this just so we can stop any bacteria in the bottom. And then I would recommend you throw a cycle on just with nothing in it, just to get rid of the product and so that your cutlery and stuff doesn't taste like Zoflora. And the next tip I have for you for using Zoflora is the way that I started to use it in the first place, and that is for my floor. I have got a spray mop, which is a much better way of using this than a mop and pail, just because there's less wastage and also because it's easier to mix this way. So literally you just pop water into the spray mop at the top, put in some Zoflora, just your favourite fragrance, whatever one you like. It'll mix throughout the kind of tube of the mop, and then when you spray it, it will just smell amazing. Just clean your floors with it as usual. It doesn't do any kind of bubbling, or there's no need to kind of wipe it afterwards. It's just a very easy way to use it. But the reason I love this so much is because once I've made that up in my spray mop, I can leave it until it's empty. I don't need to think about wasting loads and throwing away the rest of the water. It's just there and ready for the next time that I need to use it. Pretty sure that everyone that uses Zoflora at some point has done this, and that is to get an empty spray bottle and put a couple of capfuls in it and fill it up with water. You can use this to disinfect surfaces, your car, your basically anything. The only thing that I would stay away from is putting it on children's high chairs and toys, just because it is full of chemicals. For me personally, I would go for something a bit more sort of organic. Even any of the method sprays are great for that because it's not as harsh, they're full of chemicals. But yeah, I tend to use this on things like the bathroom, things like the floor, things like outside, windows, surfaces, anything that you're not really going to have any food on. I would tend to use a spray bottle of Zoflora. Another great use for Zoflora, and again I would tend to do this overnight, is to pop a capful down your plug holes, so either in your kitchen, your bathroom, your utility room, or even outside, and literally just put a capful down your plug hole and then boil your kettle. Pop some boiling water down the plug holes and then leave it. First of all, the kind of steam from the kettle water will make the place smell amazing, and it will also kill any of the bacteria in your plug hole, and it will also clear any blockages you might have as well. This little tip is fab, and it's an easy one for everyone to do, and that is to get a cotton wool pad and put some Zoflora on it, literally like you're going to tone your face, but just pop some Zoflora onto a cotton pad and throw it in the bottom of your bin. Every time you open your bin, you won't be greeted by that horrible bin scent. It will be the smell of your favourite Zoflora. Tip number 13 is to again use some cotton wool pads with some Zoflora on them. Open up your Hoover chamber that gathers all the dust and mess and pop in the pads in there into that unit. Every time you use your Hoover, it will smell fabulous, especially for me having a dog. It's quite important that we don't have the same sort of like animal smell all the time, so this is a really good tip for pet owners. Tip number 14 is one that's quite crafty, and that is if you have an empty Reid diffuser and you have nothing left in it, if you pop some Zoflora in the bottom of it and fill it up with water, it will make for the most fabulous home fragrance Reid diffuser. The next tip is one of my favourite ones, and I use it a lot, and that is to get a spray bottle and pop in some water, a little kind of half cap full of your favourite fabric softener, and then a cap full of Zoflora, and this will make for the best fabric refresher you have ever used, honestly. Any upholstery, any curtains, any kind of soft furnishings, you're going to want to spray it with this because it smells unbelievable. You will be so surprised at how strong it is, and it lasts for ages. The next tip is one for all of you dog and cat owners out there, but if any of you have got artificial grass and you're looking to clean it, if your dog's maybe did a little pee on it or whatever, I would get some Zoflora into a jug with hot water and just run it over the area. It's much better than just putting water down because it rains anyway. It's to get the scent away and also to disinfect the area, especially if you have kids then going out and playing there. It's so important you keep it looking clean and fresh, and that is exactly what I do over here at my mum's house if the dogs have ever went out and did a pee in the grass. A lot of people don't realise that in your Hoover you have a filter that gathers any of the dust that kind of can't go into the main chamber, but you're supposed to clean this every 3 months, and I have been doing this because unfortunately ours broke and there was a whole big palaver, but anyway I have been cleaning ours quite regularly. And what you're supposed to do is clean it and let it dry out fully, but if you clean it with some Zoflora and water, then it dries out. Every time you turn your Hoover on, it's going to smell amazing. And my very last tip for you guys is to make your artificial flowers actually smell really good, and that is by getting some Zoflora in a spray bottle a little bit more concentrated than usual and spraying it onto any of your artificial plants or flowers. I normally find artificial flowers, especially kind of like a rose shape, can sometimes smell horrific in the house. I think because they harbour quite a lot of dust. So once you've shaken them off and make sure that all of the dust is away, give them a good spray with some Zoflora and let them dry off. So guys, that is the end of my video. I hope you've enjoyed listening to all of these hacks and have tried out some for yourself. If you're new around here, then please do hit subscribe and let me know that you have done in the comments below so I can say hi. And I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!